wasn't another story there. Oh, did you see the Preston North End news?
No, I don't think so.
No?
Maybe not.
They were playing a preseason game.
Mm-hmm.
You know, as teams tend to do at this time of year, they play a bit of preseason. And they won 5-0.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know who was against?
No.
Well, you're not the only one, Will. Nobody knows. It's a secret.
Why?
Did you see this?
No. What the fuck is this story?
In the match report, there's like a match report. They're winning 5-0, and there's no mention of the other team. And people read this match report thinking, "Wait, who are we playing? Who was this?" So they asked them, like, "Who are we playing?" And they said, "We've agreed with the other team to not release the names. They'd rather not be known."
So was it like Real Madrid or something?
I'm thinking Phil Neville's Inter Miami, to be honest.
23 cup finals, I feel as though that they are.
Like, imagine being so bad that you lose to Preston North End and then being so much above them that you're like, don't tell anybody about this, please.
I'm
Please,
gonna be
dear
honest.
God, don't tell anyone.
God, that sounds a lot like an Arsenal thing.
Oh, I don't know. I just feel like it's going to come out. But I mean, it's so bizarre. Like,
Why-
what kind of...
What? Was there no one at the game? Why is it?
Well, maybe with COVID and that, is it behind closed doors? But I just thought, dear God, like, what a bizarre situation that, like,
That's going to be
now
keeping
all the
me
players now, like...
up. Yeah.
You know, you just say, look, lads, just, you know, those last 3 goals weren't our fault. The result went against us. You know, we can pick ourselves up from this. But those anonymous players, like, yeah, we didn't even tell people that we played the game. We were so bad. Like, even like,
Nobody say anything.
yeah, let's all just pretend this game never happened and go to our individual homes.
Sign your NDAs and get out of here.
Yeah.
No, honestly, that is nonsense. Nonsense. All nonsense. But listen, I've been on that road before. Nonsense. Fucking nonsense. Why should we accept somebody talking nonsense? Like, what would you say? Just why are you talking nonsense about us? Why are you talking rubbish?
Hello, everybody, and welcome to a No Nonsense podcast with Cathal and Will. We're back after our 1 week hiatus. You know, it wasn't even a hiatus. We actually tried. We just failed miserably at recording.
It was probably the
in person.
hardest we've ever worked on the podcast, to be honest. But didn't
Yeah.
work.
With the least reward. So that's
Yeah.
a lesson for us, Will.
Yeah.
Just, you know, let's not overdo it here. Okay?
Yeah.
Because that's not what we're about in this show. Yeah, I mean, we didn't really miss much, I suppose. We were talking about the Harry Kane stuff and the Grealish stuff. And now there's been actual movement on both those things. So, you know, I guess we should probably just get into that. But also, big news, big domestic news. Bohemians, Will's second team.
Yes, lad.
You know, a massive big win there against... A massive big win, I think is the official term. A massive big win
Huge.
against the Greek outfit, PAOK Thessaloniki.
Yep. The first Irish team to win 4 European games in a row.
Yeah. PAOK Thessaloniki, I think it is. But yeah, Bohemians, great win. I watched that game. I was glued to the couch. I thought, here we go. Put on a bit of Bohemians, see how badly they lose or see what the story is, because I don't fucking know anything about it. I'm just looking at the transfer marked valuations of the squad. One says 58 million, the other says 1.2. And no prizes for guessing which one is which there. So I thought this would be interesting to see how long they last. But they pulled out the bag, Will.
Yep.
2-1.
I think it's the third game in a row in Europe where every game I've watched them in Europe, it's been like, okay, it's been nice so far, but now it's time to get pumped and, you know, back to normal. And they just keep pulling it out the bag. They keep getting better and better. And in the Aviva every time, selling out the amount of tickets they get straight away. Not a mention of it anywhere in RT or anything, though. You wouldn't even know what's happening.
Yeah, no, I didn't until like I said, just flicking through. One of the boys put on the I think it's the League of Ireland TV or
The pass.
TV. Yeah, they had the pass, so they stuck it on. But I mean, you wouldn't know it's on. I suppose maybe as well because there's no one physically going, well, not as many people going to it as there could be. It's just like when it's not a main event like that, you need as much buzz generated as possible.
Yeah.
So with COVID kind of curtailing that even a little bit, it kind of kills something like that. But I will say the game itself, they were definitely got the benefit of the rub of the green. They got the rub of the home green there. The referee, Jesus Christ! I mean, I don't know what he was doing.
He might as well just not have been there.
Oh, I think he had. He might have been there. Will he definitely had an impact on the game? The PAOK boys were going mental, losing it. I mean, he was messing up like stuff like advantage. You know what I mean? Like, oh, I give him advantage, and then they get pulled down again, and they go, "Well, look, I gave you advantage," or it's like it seemed like he didn't quite grasp the spirit of the advantage rule. It was like if they get fouled and they get fouled again, you can't. Well, I let you wear that one, lads. I can't call it back.
It's a new advantage now. The advantage is ongoing.
PAOK certainly didn't understand where he was going with this. But not to be fair, they went 2-0 up. Did Bohemians 2 very good goals. The second goal, especially a screamer.
Ali Coote, great player. I think he's only
Ali
new
Coote.
as well. He's been banging in goals the last few months as well. Him and Georgie Kelly. So savage. It's unreal to see them.
Georgie Kelly, master of the dark arts. Georgie Kelly.
Oh yeah, the first
was
goal.
he just playing the game? Will
the first goal he fucking barreled over one of the lads right before crossing it in. He decimated him.
Yeah, no, it was. They played very well, and they I guess open expansive football. You might say, like they weren't exactly parking the bus either. You know what I mean? You wouldn't say they were, total football, but they weren't just like offering nothing. I thought Tierney was very good for them as well. Ross Tierney was excellent. Yeah. He's lightning fast. They got to go back. Did PAOK through Nelson Oliveira, but Bohemians were in the game. Like they weren't like they were as good as them. Like I said, they got a good advantage being at home. And I think it'll probably be different in the second leg.
Yeah, and I think PAOK are one of those like notorious, very scary teams to play away. Like I think they've like rabid fans and flares and all that shit. So it'll be tough.
Yeah, and they won't get the same advantages they got in the Aviva. But no, fair play. Look, like I say, it's a story that no one's talking about. It's one of those ones that I think anybody who doesn't know anything about Bohemians would think, oh, yeah, sure, they'll lose that. Like they won't get any further than that. This is for the conference quarterfinal, the Europa Conference League qualifier.
Yep.
And this is what this tournament was made for. Teams like Bohemians to have a genuine chance in the competition. Now, even still, they're a long way away. Like I say, I think that they'll have to go to PAOK and probably win, honestly.
Yeah. There's no way goals
I don't see them
anymore
hanging on, you know.
Well. So it's really like, it's interesting to see now because that was last season, PAOK getting a goal at the end. You're like, fuck, we're doomed. But when there's no away goals, it's literally just like, okay, we're still going in a goal up. There's no weird like, oh, now we have to score 2 or like, it's none of that. So they can maybe hang on, like if they're desperate.
I don't see them hanging on to a 0-0 or even I think they have to probably go and play well again and do them again.
Yeah.
What do you think about the game? What was your takeaway from what you've seen in Bows this year? Was it like a particularly good performance, or was it just how they've been playing?
Yeah, that was a really good performance. Like they've been playing well. The big thing with them is in the league, they keep fucking throwing games away at the end. Like they'll be 2-0 up or 1-0 up in the 85th minute, and then they'll draw or they'll lose, and that's happened like every second game pretty much. So even the goal at the end for PAOK, you're like, oh yeah, that was coming. Like doesn't matter how well they play, they always let it slip at the end. So, but it was still mental, like to do that. I do think it was probably just a case of being underestimated. I think when you see a game where it's like, oh yeah, they're gonna hammer them, I'm sure the big team were like, oh yeah, we're gonna hammer these without really giving it much thought. And then bad ref, Bows play well, and they're like, oh fuck, that's flipped it on its head now.
Yeah, but fair play to them all the same. hope they get through. It'd be nice to have an Irish team go far in a European competition like that, wouldn't it?
I think this is definitely the hardest team that they can play. I think after this they either play Hibernian or Rijeka, who are both good
Yeah.
teams, but I don't think they're as big as PAOK. And then they're in, and I think Dundalk are still in it as well, and Rovers are still in the Europa League one, I think, whatever one they're in. So it's looking good. I think it's the furthest into qualification where there's been more than one Irish team left. I think that was right.
Yeah, and like I said, that was what the Conference League was brought in for, that you wouldn't have one team every 10 years from Ireland maybe get into the Europa League group stages and then that'd be it.
Yeah.
So yeah, hopefully it materializes into a long bit of European football for an Irish team, if not multiple Irish teams.
Yeah, that'd be great.
I saw Rangers as well. They struggled. They lost 2-1. I think to Malmo.
Yeah,
That's who they were playing. So unlucky for Rangers, and Stevie G there not looking too happy. He never does, I suppose. But I mean,
he is so miserable, isn't he? He's just any interview I've ever seen. He's just a miserable bastard. It's the same with Scholes.
It does start early for those two.
It's that generation of boys, those three midfielders, Scholes, him, and Lampard. Just you wouldn't want to go for a pint with any of them, really. I don't think.
And Lampard's fairly chill, is he not? Lampard's pretty jolly.
Yeah, when he's not up against the wall, I suppose. When his job's not on the line, he was all right.
But yeah, long season for the likes of Rangers and them. Like, you know, when you get far in those competitions, you take a long way to qualify. You know, and it's not easy. It's not like your hammer teams, like, you know, have to go to Malmo and win. Like, it's not easy.
Yeah.
Impossible for Rangers last night because it didn't. But yeah. I think the league starts itself in a couple of weeks. Is it the Premier League and all that?
I think it's 2 weeks. Pretty sure.
I think it's the 13th it starts. So about 2 weeks from now. We do have some players on the move in the Premier League, do we?
Yeah, it seemed yesterday things kicked into high gear. Kane seems like he's gone. Kane's given up, by the way. Do you think, like, how far do you think it goes? Do you think he just never comes back for Tottenham again, or will he be back tomorrow?
Yeah, well, this is at the time of recording, at the time of podcasting, it was that he hadn't showed up for training, which is always a telltale sign of like, oh yeah, he's done here. He's forcing his way out. But of course, you know, this is Daniel Levy, the master negotiator, the shrewd businessman, Daniel Levy. It's going to take them more than 1 day of not jump to work to stop a 6-year contract to get in the way. So of course they go to the second day of not showing up for training, and we were talking to a Spurs fan last week, and they turned on him. They say he's a bollocks, he's a prick. This is not how you do it. You know, this is not good. They all turned all his best fans, and some pundits as well were coming out saying he needs to say about example this. You're a captain of England. This is not how you do it. All this kind of bullshit, you know.
Yeah.
But whatever. Then he was like, "Oh no, I was just." I missed my flight from holidays.
Coward.
I was always coming back.
Fuck off, you fucking coward.
It's a big misunderstanding. I was just coming back from holidays a couple of days late, and you know.
I forgot to tell Tottenham.
Yeah. Which I think it seems like kind of a backward step. Just from the mind of PR master Charlie Kane, I think. What if we just lie and say that we weren't trying to force a move? Like,
I'm sure that'll really, like, if you're Levy, you've already won. You've won this battle.
Yeah.
He's already groveling now, and he's making excuses. Like, oh no, I'll be back.
Yeah. You see the picture of Charlie Kane?
No, I've never seen Charlie Kane. I've only imagined what he looks like.
Oh, he looks like someone who would. He looks like someone who'd say he's Harry Kane's brother when he wasn't. He's like, you kind of look. Oh yeah, I'm Harry Kane's brother, but when he isn't, but he actually is. He just looks like a shit Harry Kane. And they took a picture of him in his office. You know, where I think he works for, like, he has his own sports agents company.
Yeah.
where Harry Kane is the only client.
Yeah, it's just a massive filing cabinet with just one file in it.
And there's like, he takes a picture of him in his office. And it's so bizarre looking. Like there's like a desk there, and there's like a massive ink spill on the desk, but like it's part of the design of the desk.
He sounds like this sounds like Stephen Merchant in Extras. Like it's on his books. It's Harry Kane and Barry from EastEnders.
Honestly, there's a like say I can't look away from the ink stain on the that's clearly a design feature of this enormous desk. He has like one laptop and a seemingly empty address book beside it. And then on the back wall, it's like a limey mint green wall. There's like 100 pictures of Harry Kane.
That's his talent roster.
Yeah, they're only pictures. Like there's a picture of Harry Kane as a child, pictures of them together as children. There's family like Harry Kane's family photos, I think. And there's a picture of like the back of Harry Kane's jersey. It's the most bizarre thing ever. And then like a wider picture, a wider shot of the entire office, and there's a motorbike in the office, and again, like designed into the ground, there's tire tracks where the bike is like skidded up against the wall. It's so funny. Like you couldn't write this. It's too bizarre. Like
send that to me there. I'll have a look at it. That sounds incredible.
And the bike looks like it might be a toy. It looks like it doesn't actually work.
It sounds
so
like
shiny.
his office is in one of those, like, have you ever been in like the M&M world in London, where it's just like, it's kind of a shop, but it's also kind of like, oh, look at that weird thing. There's just weird stuff everywhere. That is very bizarre. Again, very, very David Brent with the motorbike in the ground.
It's like if David Brent had made it by sheer, nepotism.
By his brother, yeah. But like, what if there's someone else and you're like, surely he wants to be an agent for more than just Kane?
Yeah. I'm sure he wants to, but I mean, have you seen the way he's been handling this? Fucking hell.
No fucking way.
Look at that picture. It's
the ink spill. Oh my god.
The ink spill is something to behold, honestly.
That is this dude just has. That's too many pictures. What is going on?
Like
the tires.
The tire tracks, look at them.
Did he ask someone for that, or that seems like
that's a bespoke office for Charlie Kane.
You know what this really shows me? How much fucking money does this guy make just for being Harry Kane's brother? Like, this office is mental.
That's the thing. Like, he makes all that money from being Harry Kane's brother. What a life!
What a life! And he's got a lot more money coming to him soon, I'd say.
Yeah, and that I think would be his golden handshake from the brother, because he, like, if this goes through, it's not because of the brother.
Oh man, imagine what will he do next in his office? There'll be a ball pit, maybe. That could be good.
Oh fuck yeah!
You're going nowhere.
No, Daniel Levy had this one. Well, he knew he had a one before it even started, but like all he did was just say nothing and wait for them to capitulate here, and that's exactly what's happened. Yeah. It begs the question though. It's like, well, what's the point of it all? Like, Daniel Levy's going to win the war of keeping Harry Kane, who will be, embarrassed, hated, miserable at Tottenham. What, you going to get 10 goals from this season? Is the victory for Daniel Levy destroying Harry Kane's career? What's left of his career like? I mean, what's the end goal here?
Well, I guess it's a weird one, because you don't want, if you're a player and you want to go to Spurs, I'd imagine you don't want to see players stuck there. But then if you're Spurs, you also don't want to be like, for the fans, you want to be like, we're not going to like bend over. Like, we're trying to be a big club. We want to stay at the top. We're not going to just let people walk all over us. So, yeah, it's a bit of a tricky one.
Yeah, I mean, the real issue is the 6-year contract.
another mastermind move from the Kane brothers.
Yeah, well, I don't know. I mean, cause like you say, you see it all the time where, say like where Ronaldo wanted to leave. Like he was talking about leaving every year since he got there, basically. Like eventually he's going to go here. So, and he was ever going to sign a 6-year contract either. But like, you always want to leave yourself in the position where you feel if you're United or a big club and a player wants to leave, that you're in control of the situation.
Yeah.
Even if you don't get what you want, you're still in control of the situation. They obviously would have preferred Ronaldo to never leave, but it was never the case of Ronaldo had to force a way out and that it all got very sour at the end. Like, 'cause that's not, like I say, that's not what a big club is. If you're in Tottenham, you're like, well, look, man, you signed a 6-year contract. So we can't be seen here to be fucking idiots. So, it's kind of partly that Tottenham are worried about not looking like a big club, and Kane is looking like he's not a big player, or at least doesn't have a big player representation. If this move does go through, which I don't know, will it go through or not? Because
I think it will.
They are on the verge of signing Grealish,
but I think because they're just. It seems like money just isn't. It's no problem. Like spending 100 million on Grealish, because that's what Villa asked for, rather than like, oh, we're desperate for him. I think they'd easily just pay whatever for Kane, like 150 or whatever the fuck it's going to be. So yeah, I think I can still see it happening, and I think it came out today that City are expecting it to happen near deadline day, which is just beautiful for Spurs.
I mean, for Spurs, what do you do? I mean, do you like if you think it's going to go through? I personally, I don't know. I don't think it's going to go through. I think it'd be awful. I think it's going to be one of those worst, things ever, and it's going to be like one of those tales like, oh, this is why you don't have family members of your brother. This is why you don't have family members as your agent or working for you. And they go, well, why not? And they go, Charlie Kane. Like Charlie Kane is going to be the story here.
Yeah,
like, he's going to be the story people tell, and you go, you don't want to be Harry Kane and have your brother's your agent. Look what happened to him. Yeah. I think this is going to be one of those all-time stories of like, oh fuck, that's a bad idea because of this.
I could see that.
I mean, and I think he'd probably be better than Grealish. I mean,
oh yeah,
does Grealish seem like a pep player?
No, but I saw a comment about it that I liked, where it's like, excited to see, I think it was from a Villa fan saying like, excited to see my all-time favourite player and probably the best player I've ever seen play for my club become another player in Pep's system who passes the ball in the same direction in the same place as the rest of the players there. Like it's just swapping out a jigsaw piece for another one that does, and make him do the same thing. It's shite.
Yeah, for a slightly younger jigsaw piece.
Yeah, like that's like I think Bernardo Silva is gone now or is leaving. So that's all it is. It's just like, you're the new Bernardo Silva, who is someone who people were like, you never really see him or much of him.
No, I mean, Harry Kane has scored more goals, got more assists.
Yeah, and like they need to replace Aguero.
Has been more consistent. They need a striker. He's the best striker in the league for the last how many years, really?
Yeah.
But he's not 25.
Bro, I'd rip both my legs off and arms to be 25.
He's not 25, Will. So sorry, you're 28, basically 29, basically dead.
Yeah.
So you're definitely not worth the money. Tough day for Harry Kane.
I'd give up everything I have to be 25.
We were talking about when it happened. But remember Pep's whole speech of like, we're broke, we can't afford anyone, no one's settled to us, we can never replace Aguero. And then immediately, like as soon as the window's open, just take anyone, who cares? Take Villa's best player, what are they going to do about it?
Yeah, well, I don't think he ever said they were broke, but he definitely had a big crying thing of, we can never replace him. We can never replace him. And, and then I think Aguero's dad came out that was bullshit, and, everyone knew it was bullshit. It's just Pep just being weird. Like, I don't know what he wants people to think of him. But, Kane could be on the way. Grealish is on the way again. Well, on the way again. He's on the way. Not much hassle with that one. But they were looking, I think, was it 3 months ago or 2 months ago that they made a bid for Smith Rowe from Arsenal. Mm. So they had been resigned losing Grealish a long time ago. They knew this was going. Maybe they even said to City, give us 3 months, please, so that we can find a replacement before you start taking him away. Because then, you're in position. Like now people know that they have 100 million to spend.
Exactly, yeah.
So like you're not getting away with a 25 million bid anymore. It's like that's now up to 60 million.
Yeah, exactly.
You know?
Like when Barca sold Neymar, and all of a sudden Coutinho costs 120 million, and Neymar or fucking Dembele costs 130 million or whatever. So
yeah, because they know, because whatever you might say about the funds this year or the sponsors, like it's like you can't put any of that stuff because you know it's in the news what you just got.
I suppose that's what Buendia, because they got Buendia, Bailey, and Ings. So like they've got a front three pretty much and it all happened to go through just as Grealish left. So they must have known that like we're not keeping this lad.
Yeah, Buendia was early doors, but again, like if you're really you want to kind of improve the squad.
Yeah.
So ideally, you would have gotten Buendia and Grealish. Like I said, they made a few bids, I think, for Smith Rowe and a few others looking to kind of replace Grealish. And then, like I said, there, Danny Ings is the newest one where it's like, oh, fuck, didn't see that going. From Southampton to Aston Villa, kind of a lateral move, you would guess. No, I would say.
It's so weird now. It's like, I think you just have clubs in my mind at a certain level, no matter what happens. Like, I'd always picture, like, Southampton, they're like way up here, and Villa are here, and then, but like, that hasn't been the case for the last year anyway. Like, Southampton have been shite the last few years, so I'd say he's glad to be out of it.
Yeah, they were shite last year. What the 2-9-0s probably
2-9-0s
sealed the deal.
As we've spoken about.
Yes, as everyone has spoken about when they talk about Southampton, the 2-9-0s.
Yeah.
But I mean, I don't know. They do tend to buy well. They've been in the Premier League a long time now. Like Aston Villa are only just up.
Yeah.
You know, maybe it's more money. I don't know. But I thought that was a strange one from Danny Ings because he was linked to Man City as a replacement for Jesus.
Yeah. I guess
now
it's just
to go to Aston Villa. It's like,
I guess he was just holding out hope for a bigger move, and then he obviously has been told by now that like no one's coming for you, man. So, because like I think Chelsea were linked with him before as well, because they needed a striker. But I don't know if he's that. He's a good player, but I don't know if he's going to be the big boy at a big club. Like, so I think he probably just figured that out over time. It's like, Villa's fine. Like, it's a move.
yeah, he'll start at Villa. You know, probably him and Watkins in some combination up front. Maybe not Watkins. Who knows? But again, like I say, like Aston Villa were good last year at times. But if they could have added Buendia and Ings to that team, then you have more players. You've got more options.
Yeah.
Now it feels like you take Grealish away. You're kind of 2 steps forward, 1 step back almost.
Yeah.
But still, it's still progress for Aston Villa. Good to see them kind of doing it the right way, I suppose. Kind of getting back in the league and not immediately going back down again and go. Like those yo-yo teams, it's tough to get out of that cycle. But
and I
they look like
suppose
they're improving well.
just being a club getting 100 million at now and this time after COVID and all that. Even if they don't replace, I'd say the club itself is like, phew, that'll really help. Like if there's lockdowns again or anything like that, we're grand for a while.
Yeah. The other any other transfer news? Lukaku seems to be on his way back to the Premier League.
Mercenary Cahill. He doesn't. He just doesn't stay anywhere. He just hops club to club. Always has a point to prove. It seems like, I don't know, man. Because
it'd be a great sign for Chelsea, though, wouldn't it?
Yeah, unreal sign for Chelsea. But it's just like, was he not talking at the end of the season about how much he loves Inter and blah, 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 blah. And like, this is my club now. This is where I belong. And then it's like the first offer he gets, he's gone again. So, it just annoys me.
Yeah, but I don't think that's anything to do with him, though. I think once the club accepts a bid for you, and we talk about Inter being strapped for cash.
That is
I don't think
true.
they paid my night for Lukaku yet.
So,
I think they're still paying that off.
That is mental that they're probably going to pay United with the money they're selling Lukaku for.
Yeah, like that's how fucked Inter are. So I mean, I don't
That's
think
true.
Lukaku has much of a choice in this. And look, he was in England, obviously. Came from Belgium. He's done Italy. Again, I don't think Barcelona and Real Madrid are buying anybody for that kind of money. So his options are probably limited. I don't think PSG are probably looking for any more strikers either. So it's a strange new kind of landscape out there where like they think, oh yeah, sure, I could go to only Chelsea actually.
Yeah.
Only Chelsea could pay me the money that I want.
Yeah.
So there's not many.
It
landing
is weird
spaces for
with
the
Madrid.
top players.
Yeah, it's weird with Madrid and Barca kind of being out of the picture because it does feel like it's just the Premier League running the show. Like they have all the money, they'll buy all the players. Now it seems like the other league, like Inter had to sell their best player 2 months after winning the league for the first time in ages.
Yeah.
Like, and they sold their like starting right back as well. So it's just like it's all Premier League all the time. It seems like,
and that's what the Premier League is kind of a super league in a way. Like it does have most of the money. All the best players from other leagues go there. Like I remember when Johan Gabai was at PSG, and he went there. He couldn't really break into that first team, so he was on the way out. And I think he had an offer from Crystal Palace and Roma. And like traditionally, like, oh, you definitely go to Rome, but like Crystal Palace just blew them out of the water wage wise.
yeah.
It's like they could just afford like the Sky money, the TV money that they had versus what Roma had as at the time a mid-table Italian team. It was just there's like of course I'll go to Crystal Palace, because there's you're just not even near the wages. Like, so I mean, it's been like this for years that like the Premier League has been streaks ahead of like whatever the super teams like the Juves and the Real Madrid, but it's the ones like a few tiers below that just have no chance.
Yeah,
there's no way of competing with those teams.
Yeah, it's annoying to see. Well, it's annoying literally just for me, I think. But to see people saying like about like, oh, Lukaku is like he'll prove United wrong, like he'll show them how wrong they were. He fucking used to play for Chelsea. Like, he played for Chelsea before he played for United, and and as well, it's like when he got sold from United, he was shit. People were clamoring for him to be sold. He was fucking out of shape. He couldn't hold up the ball. He only learned that, it seemed, last year, because we were raving about it at the Euros that he was doing it finally, being able to stop a ball dead and stuff like that. So it's just so annoying. Like, it's so annoying to be like, oh, fucking, he'll show you. It's like, he didn't. He was there. He was at the club, but he failed to show.
Yeah, no, he definitely improved. And I think he put that down to Antonio Conte. He said he worked with him a lot and helped him with the hold-up game and, improved his game leaps and bounds in Inter. Which is, it doesn't happen often that players improve, especially when they're, when you make it to as a professional footballer, you usually, you're the finished article at like 18, like every club wants you. You make it to the very top. You don't really have much room to go. The fact that he could still score goals and have huge gaps in his game it's so rare, but he seems to have rounded out everything, and he could be a great signing for Chelsea. Not good news for Timo Werner, I would fear.
Oh, no. No.
I don't would be sold because they had, obviously, Olivier Giroud go to AC Milan at the start of the window. So I guess you can now be Olivier Giroud. Which probably not what Timo wants, but is that what Timo deserves, Will?
Yeah, I don't know if you saw... he missed, in the preseason game. Well, I think the first Chelsea preseason game, I think he missed an open goal. And I just saw it on Twitter, people being like, "Oh, it's good to be back. Football's back, baby."
Oh no,
that's the type of thing that's the type of thing that you have to like. New season, new me. I'm gonna right all the wrongs, and then immediately fucks up, and like that's him done now. He's gonna be thinking about that.
Oh, stop. I mean, if there's any player out there who want to see get a move and just a fresh start, and it's Timo Werner, man.
Go to Inter.
He is a good player.
Yeah, go to Inter, Werner. They need a striker now.
Yeah, but what can they afford? I mean, this thing, if you're Timo Werner, you're like, right, I'm 26, kind of in a bit of a slump, I need to get out of this. What are the options? Who's going to pay him as much as he's on Chelsea? Yeah. And you have to make a decision of like, but I can make it work here, making all this money. Or you think, right, I'll take a pay cut, I'll go to fucking, somewhere else. It rarely happens. I think usually they see out the contract and go on a free agent, and by that point their career is over.
Yeah, and like you don't want to go like make a stinking leave the club, because then you're gonna have that permanent flop stamp on you, and doesn't matter what you do, that's always gonna be there.
Yeah, Timo wants out.
Yeah.
Coward wants to leave club where he can't, where he failed at. Like the narrative just does it. It gets away from them. There's nothing you can do. Like honestly, he has to turn around to Chelsea for a year and then go as a free agent. But like he can't leave on this form.
No, you could see you could see the articles like single digit goal scorer Timo Werner.
Oh God. So yeah, do you think that will go through? Think they'll see that?
Yeah,
it seems like it's basically over the line.
Because that was one. There's like it seems like there's two type of transfers. There's the ones that are just grind to being done, takes months, even though everyone knows it's happening. And then there's the one like Lukaku's going to Chelsea, or like Lukaku linked with Chelsea, and then a day later it's like, oh yeah, it's happening, and then a day later he's holding the jersey. So I think it's gonna be one of those because it came out of nowhere.
Yeah, it depends who your agent is sometimes. Like if it's a super agent, the news trickles slowly and surely, and there's always an agenda behind this news coming out. Like again, something like Danny Ings, just like, oh, Danny Ings signs Aston Villa. Like, what? Yeah, today actually. Here's the jersey. Because like he's not trying to fucking influence other clubs. Like I say, I think he probably got news saying, look, Danny, Chelsea want you, but they see you as kind of a backup. United, not interested. You know, like this news comes down. He's like, right. So who would I actually play? I think have a slight increase in money. It's like Aston Villa and Newcastle, or whatever. You know, and he's like, right, okay. And those deals get done quickly because the decision is made for them. You know, it's the ones who like there's teams scrapping over, and you're just trying to get the fee to go up and up, and the personal terms aren't exactly right. And they go back in the meeting and go, I wonder who leaked that news. Like, oh, who knows who leaked that news about my personal terms.
I wonder, speaking of deals like that, if Kane goes to City and Lukaku's gone to Chelsea, it seemed like Chelsea were kind of in the lead for Haaland next season once his release clause is in. So I wonder what happens with him now, because surely that'll kick into overdrive next summer. But now, like,
well, I'd imagine Chelsea will buy him then too. When
That's
Lukaku's
true.
Very, very well.
That's true. Lukaku out him,
just like with Werner.
Yeah, I forgot about football.
Yeah. Well, no, but you're right though. Like, say Lukaku brings his Inter form to Chelsea. He is, 28, 29, old as fuck.
Yeah, it's weird that you never hear that about Lukaku, but you sure do hear it about Kane, and I think they're the same age. It's very
they're
weird.
the same age, but I don't think it's going to cost them 150 million, which is what Spurs want.
Yeah.
Which I think is just kind of like, all right, it's not even that we can't afford it. We just disagree so intensely with that figure for a man that age. Haaland next summer. City and Chelsea will have aging strikers, so it might be another race for that. But look how many strikers. I remember when City had Aguero, Dzeko, Jovetic, Balotelli all in the books. I mean, they've done this before where like two or three of them could be starting, so and look, I'm sure he's on good wages at Dortmund, but he'd be on a lot more wages at Chelsea or City to sit on the bench.
Yeah.
And again, no one thinks they're sitting the bench. They all think, I'm going to go and I'm going to make the team.
Yeah.
I'm going to put Harry Kane on the bench. But,
And he has his super agent, like the super agent, so he'll get money no matter where he goes, because that'll be the carefully plotted, never-ending saga before he moves. So he'll get money somewhere.
Yeah.
Like, he could go to PSG, I suppose.
PSG, I think when... I don't know what the story is in Spain, but when the stadium's open and you get the full Barcelona, Real Madrid match day experience money coming in, I think they'll be right back on track to sign someone like that. So, next summer.
As Perez said, I don't know, I only remember this the other day. I'm really sure in his quotes from the Super League interviews, he said, if I don't sign Mbappe, you can kill me. So, I wonder if that's still the plan.
Yeah, no, this is a bump in the road for those super clubs. Like I say, when things open up again, I was down in Cork the other weekend, and it's probably the first time I've probably been in like a really busy centre of town since it happened. I haven't got out much, but like I was like, oh fuck, have things opened up again? Am I behind here? Have I missed the wave? Because I keep expecting to be like an announcement from the government being like, the war is over.
Yeah, it's fun. No, it's a boring, slow trickle. It's so because the UK did that. The UK did the Freedom Day thing, but then things went wrong and they had to cancel it. So then they were like, we should not be announcing Freedom Day and then cancel it. That's not good for morale.
No, Freedom Day is not really in our DNA. I don't think it's in a lot of other people's DNA. It's just kind of, it's not really smart, So I think they'll slowly open up by the end of next season. Things will be full stadiums. I saw a few preseason games there, and there were full stadiums, or almost full capacity stadiums. Like, I'd say it'll be back to it, and we won't even notice. Like, there'll still be like hand sanitizer out, and some staff in some sections wearing masks and stuff. But for all intents and purposes, it'll be back to the way they used to be. Will, in my book, that's a good thing. I don't know about you.
Yeah, no, I think that sounds all right with me.
Yeah, it sounds like a plan to get to back. So hopefully it doesn't sneak up me anymore. Any more transfers don't sneak up me like the opening of the world snuck up me there this weekend.
Aren't all Premier League games full attendance?
Well, that's what I was going to say. Was there an announcement actually on the Premier League games?
I think there was at the start of the summer, but that was based on like, hey, we're flying it right now. I think that might have been before the fucking variants or whatever. So I don't know if that's still the case. But fucking hopefully, just do it. Who cares? Who cares anymore?
No, honestly, I've totally taken my eye off the ball. I don't count the cases. I don't count myself ever, but I don't watch the cases, or I don't fucking. Especially when I got the first jab there a couple of weeks ago, and like that for me was like Freedom Day.
Yeah, I was like,
oh yeah, I'm safe now.
It's never ending doctors on telly being like, do not assume you're safe after the first jab.
Yeah.
Bad,
honestly,
mate.
man, like, I don't know what the rules are in terms of the Premier League this year. I don't know what the situation is. I mean, I think they opened up to the investigation into the Euros final. UEFA did. So that's, I think, that was probably the last, not the last, that was probably a real look at what it might be like to have things open again in England.
They're like, oh no.
But I don't think there's any stopping it. I think people are kind of just ready to get back to it. Was there any other news that we missed out on, Will? Or was there any other...
Not really. I think it was a transfer news week. There wasn't really not much silly stories this week.
But before we go, I suppose a quick kind of look to the future for us the next couple of weeks. Like I said, we got the Premier League starting on the 13th, I think, next Friday. Arsenal Preston. Is it Preston? It is Preston, yeah?
No, Brentford.
Arsenal
Preston was the secret game.
Oh shit, the secret game. No one's meant to know. Oh, I fucked it, Will. I'm going to lose my Arsenal privileges. But yeah, we have the Premier League next week. Next week, we're going to do a kind of a preview. We're going to be back to our best, I think. I think this has been...
I think everyone
survived, I think.
Yeah, look, if you're listening, I think you know as well as us, there's not much going on. There's not much to talk about in between the massive international tournament and the massive football league. There's just not much football news in between those two things.
No, but in the next week, we're going to get right back to it. We're going to have a full preview of next week, predictions, all that kind of stuff. We're going to bring back Bandwagon Wheel. Is going to be back next week for season 3.
I'd say 2. I think 2. I think it was 1 and 1.5 for the Euros. There's no way we're counting that Turkey as a full season. Are you joking me?
That's our Brentford. That's our the Bandwagon Wheel that we won't say who we supported. Or just pretend it never happened. Yeah, it was that embarrassing. We'll be back for Bandwagon Wheel season 2. We'll say, how about that? It was 1.5. Season 1 and 1.5 was the Euros. Yeah. And then this season 2, the official season 2, we'll reveal what country we're going to pick when we decide what we're going to do.
We might have to literally spin a wheel for ourselves.
Denmark would have been good, but they fucked it, lads. Look, if I'm going to say something on the podcast, I'll owe it to the fans to stick by it. I can't pick Denmark. I know you want me to pick Denmark, but I'm not going to pick it. Okay, they didn't hold up there in the deal, so it's not going to be them. It might be somewhere similar. And you know what? This year, the goal or the hope is that we might get over to one of the games
That'd be unreal.
and get beaten up by the ultras. You know, that'd be a nice little way to do it this year.
That's the natural conclusion to the podcast: is we both get killed in some horrible ultras
by Finnish ultras in the summer league they have over there.
We're on the cover of the Sun and stuff. Failed podcasters killed.
No, honestly, that is nonsense. Nonsense. All nonsense. But listen, I've been on that road before. Nonsense. Talking nonsense. Why should we accept somebody talking nonsense? Like, what would you say? Just why are you talking nonsense about us? Why are you talking rubbish?